My name is Art Wood. I'm the ADOS training officer here in Phoenix. I'm also a authorized OSHA training officer through the OTI. Karen asked me to put a presentation on preventing slip, trips, and falls, since you guys have had several incidents in the last few months regarding slip, trips, and falls. Do this. Hazards are everywhere. Wet floors, slippery, icy walkways. You need to protect yourself and your coworkers by learning what the hazards are with slips, trips, and falls. Slips, trips, and falls account for more than 20% of all occupational injuries involving days away from work. Approximately 10% of fatal occupational injuries resulted from falls from heights. And slip, trips, and falls are one of the leading causes of accidents, according to at least 20% of the workers' compensation claims. The lack of safety awareness, unsafe conditions, unsafe behavior contributes to slip, trips, and falls. Be careful. The best way to is to use safe work habits. A slip happens when it's too little friction between your feet and the ground. Trips happen when someone halts your motion. Falls happen when your body is in an unstable position, such as the picture with the ladder there. Reducing slip, trips, and falls. Stay alert. Be aware of your surroundings. Get plenty of rest. Manage your stress. Avoid alcohol and drug use, and take appropriate breaks. Let's watch this little video here to give you some insight on slips, trips, and falls.
In safety, we get to deal with some really cool stuff like explosion, demolition, and health hazards that are smaller than a speck of dust. In fact, it's one of the great secrets that safety professionals tend to keep to ourselves. Our job is awesome.
What?
I'm Rachel Walla with Ally Safety, and today we aren't talking about any of that exciting stuff. We are talking about the elephant in the room that contributes to more workplace injuries than almost any other problem. Slips, trips, and falls. In fact, slips, trips, and falls are the second most common cause of workplace injuries in the United States. Don't laugh, this is serious. Out of all the hazards out there in the world today, gravity is one of the most depressing because it's always bringing people down. So, without further ado, let me drop you some facts about gravity. Falls in the United States account for about 8.9 million emergency room visits each year. They also are one of the least interesting injuries to tell your friends about because there's rarely any glory in them. So what is causing all the slips, trips, and falls? Contrary to popular belief, not all slips, trips, and falls are caused by discarded banana peels. These injuries can actually be attributed to three simple factors: friction, momentum, and gravity. Today, we're going to break down each of these factors to make them super simple. Slips are caused by a loss of friction. Friction is the resistance between objects. That loss of traction is actually the leading cause of workplace slips. Think of things like wet surfaces, spills, ice, and snow. Slips are also more likely to occur when we rush, aren't paying attention, or are wearing the wrong type of shoes. Trips happen when you are moving with enough momentum to be thrown off balance by a sudden change in speed or direction. Falls are caused by gravity's pull whenever we move too far off our center of balance. So now you know the cause of slips, trips, and falls. Let's focus on some prevention. Clean up wet spots and spills as soon as possible. Wear shoes with good traction, take short steps on slippery surfaces, and pay attention to the floor conditions. Prevent trips by making sure you can see where you're walking. If you're carrying a load and you can't see over it, clear the path before you start. To prevent falls, don't jump off stuff. Use the stairs, use handrails, and prevent slips and trips. Save yourself a lot of pain, recovery time, and hurt pride by giving this topic the attention it deserves. Don't fall for complacency. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, I'll see you guys later. The other day, my friend told me this really bad gravity joke, but I still fell for it. I hate gravity puns. They always let me down. Every time I try to cut out the puns, I slip up, I trip over my words, and then I fall right back into it again.
As you can see in that video, it doesn't take much to lose your balance. Wearing good shoes, non-slip resistant shoes if you're at working in areas that there could be water on the ground. In the previous presentation, there was talk about working up on the mountain with all the snow and stuff like that. You have to be careful. Some of the information that Karen provided me was, in one case, was working around some trash area where they had a leaky oil that could cause slips. So the best thing to do is to make sure that you are cognizant of the area you're working in, what the conditions are. You know, kind of look ahead. One thing is not carrying a lot of stuff in your hands, so it blocks your view. Preventing slips, you know, if you're working near work surfaces, make wider turns at corners. Walk slowly, take short steps, keep your feet pointed straight outward, and keep your hands free for balance. And of course, wear the appropriate slip resistant shoes. When the weather creates hazardous walking conditions, you know, keep your hands free for balance. Wear shoes with enough traction on the ground, specific for the conditions. Wear sunglasses if you're out in bright days, especially when the ground is covered with snow or ice. A lot of glitter, glare and stuff from that. Some examples to prevent slips: wipe shoes thoroughly on rugs, wipe up spills, even small ones. Even if it's not at your spill, you know, wipe it up. Mark spills, slippery areas until it's cleaned up. If you can see the hazard on the floor, clean it up. You know, the picture shows here where people have dumped, or oil has been dumped, or water has been dumped on the floor. So the best thing until you can get it cleaned up is to barricade it. Some tips to cause taking shortcuts, poor lighting, and loose flooring. Walking designated areas, make sure you can see where you're going and look ahead. Carry only loads you can see over and don't hinder your movement. Remind yourself to slow down and pay attention. A lot of times extension cords like this or cords or lines are put across the floor. If you're going to do that, you should use a barricade tape or something to prevent it from becoming a trip hazard. Keep areas well lit and clean. Proper lighting helps avoid potential hazards. Here again, turn on the lights even every time you enter a room. I don't know how you guys are, but every time we leave our office and come back, the lights are off. So as soon as we walk in, they turn themselves on. Replace light bulbs when they're burnt out. Keep all work areas and walkways clear of boxes, bags, paper, cords, etc. Watch for curled up rugs, chipped floors, etc. Close file cabinets and cabinet doors after each use. When I was at NASA, we had several individuals that would open a file cabinet and then forget it was open and turn around and then trip over it, fall over it. We had to do a lot of investigating those types of trips, slips, and fall accidents. And you want to report any potential trip hazard, even if you didn't create it, somebody else created it. Try to barricade it, report it to the proper authorities. especially if it's something like a uneven sidewalk or area where there's a lot of accumulation of water or something, or report that so it can be taken care of immediately. Preventing falls. Falls happens when, again, when your center of gravity is unsupported position. Use the right equipment for the job. Find out that equipment needs ahead of time. Follow safety warnings on the equipment and keep your center of gravity supported. Keep your arms and legs as close to your center of gravity as possible. This is a blow up of that picture. Does anyone think that's a safe operation right there where they're cutting the vines on that wall? That wouldn't be safe in any means, but you never put two extension ladders on top of a ladder. If you're working off ladders, use ladder safety, follow the 1 to 4 rule. The base of the ladder needs to be placed 1 foot from its support for every 4 foot of the ladder. Inspect the ladders before using. Set and secure the ladder on stable ground. Have someone hold the base of the ladder and never use the top rung of the ladder to stand on. Prevent falls. Don't stand on chairs or tables with wheels. Don't stand on furniture not intended to be standing on or climbed on. And don't sit on banisters. Report repairs of uneven wobbly furniture. Typical cartoon. Every once in a while, we'll find somebody standing on a chair to reach something. Make your lifestyle decisions when including getting adequate rest, staying focused on your task and keeping stress under control. Stay focused on your task at hand. Take short breaks and allow for refocusing. Rest your mind and body. Manage your stress and fatigue. They'll help reduce factors that could cause you to slip, trip, and fall. Make safety a habit to stay safe on the job, at home. Make safety part of your daily routine. Grip handrails with all of your fingers and thumbs. Look ahead when you're climbing stairs without lifting your head back. This tends to lean the body backwards. Carry only loads with a comfortable weight. Stay in shape and control your weight. Maintain muscle and weight. Helps control your center of gravity and balance. And pay attention to signs and warnings. One of our individuals, shortly after I came here, was in a hurry trying to go down the stairs. He had his backpack and cell phone in his hands, wasn't really paying attention, missed a step at a landing and fell on the steps, injuring his ankle. So here again, he wasn't prepared, wasn't paying attention, had too much in his hands and on slippery stairs. Safety is basically up to you to prevent slip, trips, and falls. Like the video said, and like one of the slides said, slip, trips, and falls is one of the major causes of industrial accidents, occupational accidents. And when we do our root cause analysis on these, we need to make sure that we identify any unsafe conditions that would have led up to the incident itself. Look at the behavior of the employees, communicate to yourself to develop an awareness for potential hazards, and communicate those hazards to your employees. Any questions?